Hi, my name is Michelle, and as your Get Set Up guide today, I'm going to be going over some label reading. We're going to focus today on 6 different kinds of bread. Why we would choose one over the other. Why they all look so different. So let's get started. My preference is 100% whole wheat, so we have chosen that they all have a label of 100% whole wheat. But when you begin to look at the labels, you realize they all have different calorie counts. They all have different amounts of fiber. They all have different amounts of sugar. And these are always things, and fat also, things that we always want to be watching for as we attempt to live a healthier lifestyle. My preference of these all is this particular 100% whole wheat from Dave's Killer Bread. That is the title, Dave's Killer Bread. This one actually has 100 calories, so that's going to be kind of our standard. And then we're going to look at how much sodium, how much carbohydrate, how much fiber, and how much added sugar you're going to get in each of these loaves. But there is one other area. When you look at the very bottom of the label, you see also how many vitamins and minerals you may get by eating this bread. And these are by no means all the breads out there. Whatever area of the country or the world that you live on, you're going to find many different things. But it's a way to look at the recipe, to look at the ingredients to see whether this is a bread that you would regularly want to consume or not. So on the Dave's Killer Bread, we have no cholesterol, fortunately. There is 7% sodium. It's 160 milligrams, and that is a fair amount because if we're always trying to cut down on sodium, that can add quite a bit to the day. Carbohydrates is 21 grams, and if you are diabetic, you want to keep that number below 30, but more that you can reduce it, the better off you're going to be. Fortunately, we've got 3 grams of fiber, which is helpful, but there's also 4 grams of added sugar. So let's go ahead and look at some of the others. And this one also has a higher content of iron. In comparison, I'm going to show you one that is actually 100% whole wheat, but it has potato flour in it too, which you can notice is quite light. So I don't know how they can call it 100% wheat, but it has potato in it. So on this one, the calories per slice are 80. Not bad. And the total fat is 1.5 grams of total fat with saturated fat of 0. So that's great. Sodium is a little less than the Dave's at 5% or 105 milligrams. The total carbohydrates is 14 grams. The total sugars is 3 grams, but they have 2 grams of added sugar, meaning they just put more sugar in it. So it's going to be a little sweeter bread. And the fiber is 2 grams. The next one we're going to look at is Sara Lee. It has 120 calories. So all of a sudden with another piece of bread, you've got an additional 20 calories. And you know, that adds up over time, over the day. 2 grams of fat, not bad. And only 0.5 grams of saturated fat. That's pretty good. No cholesterol. And you know, when you're choosing a food and they say no cholesterol, well, you got to know that no breads have cholesterol unless they've added milk, eggs, and other animal products that do have cholesterol. The sodium in this one is 230 grams, which is 10% of what you should eat for the whole day. I would say this is one you're going to want to do in great moderation. And there are 23 grams of carbohydrate. How they got that was also adding sugar to the bread. So you get in this one 3 grams of fiber, great, and 5 grams of protein. So depending on what you're attempting to alter in your diet, if you're trying to get more protein, if you have to watch your carbohydrates, this is what you're looking for on the label. We go next to Arnold, or on the West Coast, I can tell you this is Oro-Wheat brand. So I recognize it because I'm from the West Coast and it looks exactly the same as Oro-Wheat. This one only has 70 calories. So let's see how do they get that down so much. Because remember our Dave's was 100, but some of the others went up as much as 120. So in this, you have no cholesterol again. Saturated fats actually is 0. That's great. And sodium is at 5%, 115 milligrams. Again, you just constantly want to be mindful of the sodium. This one has 7% of your daily fiber, or 2 grams, not a very much amount. Total carbohydrates is 14 grams. They have added sugar again, and there's 3% protein. On this one, they actually have added iron and calcium to the bread. So if one of those is an issue for you, that's another part of the label to keep an eye on. Next is Nature's Own. And again, 100%, but it's quite fluffy, which tells me there's probably more they put into it. So let's see. A half a gram of fat, not bad. Fat actually helps to make it a little more filling. It doesn't leave you as hungry for as long. But we want to avoid the saturated because that's the stuff that clogs up your arteries. And this one has no grams of saturated fat and no cholesterol, of course. But it does have 120 milligrams of salt, or 5%. So one slice of bread gives you a full 5% of what you're eating for the day. Carbohydrate, only 4%, not bad. Our next one is Pepperidge Farms. This is a nice heavy loaf, and I would say next to the Dave's Killer Bread, this one is quite impressive. It has 120 calories, a little more on the caloric end, but we have 11% dietary fiber, so that's kind of impressive. But it also has 6% added sugars. It does have 5 grams of protein, which is helpful for keeping you satisfied, and also a number of vitamins and minerals listed down below. If you're diabetic, you want to, for sure, watch those total carbohydrates along with the added fats. And as you can see, some of them have added quite a bit more, and some of them had added very little. So that's another thing that could help you with your total carbohydrate intake. So, the 6 loaves of bread, all of them come with some benefit, and all of them come with a little bit of downside. So you decide based on what your particular needs are as to whether this bread works for you or not. And you get your favorite and you stick with it, but read the labels on the others once in a while, because you might find out you have another favorite. Some of them are more costly than others, and sometimes that's worth it, but you have to decide that. Thank you for attending this GetSetUp class. Please join us for more GetSetUp classes online with myself and other instructors. Thank you.